These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried.
A staggering 17% of the flagrant fouls in the W this season have been committed against Clark, and everyone's losing their minds over it. Here's the thing. No rookie has ever been targeted like Clark, and it's time to ask why. Now, I'm no basketball expert, but I'm pretty sure the goal is to put the ball in the hoop, not put the rookie in the hospital. But here's where it gets interesting. According to Rebecca Lobo, former WNBA star and current ESPN analyst, Clark is being defended like no rookie before her. And when Rebecca Lobo talks, you listen. Lobo says she's never seen a rookie picked up 94 feet from the basket when she doesn't have the ball. That's like being followed around Walmart by an overzealous security guard, when all you want to do is buy some milk and maybe sneak a free sample or two. It's excessive, it's annoying, and it's definitely not normal. Unless you're wearing a hoodie in the middle of summer, in which case, yeah, you might look a little suspicious. Lobo also says she's never seen a rookie face guarded 35 feet from the basket when the ball is on the complete opposite corner of the floor. That's like having someone stare at you while you're trying to enjoy your lunch in the office break room. It's uncomfortable, it's weird, and it's definitely not basketball. Now, some people are saying this is all because of jealousy. They're looking at Clark like she's the new kid at school who showed up with the coolest lunchbox, and suddenly everyone wants to be her friend, or push her off the monkey bars. But Lobo isn't buying it. She thinks it's because Clark plays a game the league has never seen before. So basically, Clark is so good that the other players are like, what do we do with her? Quick, someone tackle her before she scores again. It's like when you're playing a video game and you find that one move that always works and your friends are like, that's cheating. No, Karen, it's called being good at the game. Maybe if you spent less time complaining and more time practicing, you wouldn't be losing 50-0 in Madden. But not everyone agrees with Lobo's take. Some are throwing around words like targeted, petty jealousy, and unacceptable behavior. It's like we're back in high school, but instead of passing notes, we're passing flagrant fouls. And then there's the racial aspect of it all. More than 70% of WNBA players are black, and on this season's All-Star team, Clark was the lone white player. It's like being the only person at a party who doesn't know the dance moves. Awkward? Maybe. Reason for extra fouls? Probably not. Well, here's Lobo's take on this. Does race play a part in it? It might. But we've also had some great white players, including Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu and Kelsey Plum, who did not get this kind of attention, she said. So, it's not solely that. It has to be something else. But here's where it gets really wild. The stats don't lie, do they? As I mentioned at the beginning, a staggering 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls have been committed against Clark. That's like if 17% of all the world's stubbed toes happened to one person. At some point, you have to wonder if the universe has it out for you. Now let's talk about some of these fouls. There was the time Kennedy Carter shoulder-checked Clark when she didn't even have the ball.
Good. Kennedy Carter now with 12.
It was like watching a bull charge at a red cape, except the red cape was just standing there, minding its own business. The Fever's general manager, Lynn Dunn, wasn't having any of it. She took to social media to say, there's a difference between tough defense and unnecessary targeting actions. It needs to stop. The league needs to clean up the crap. That's not who the league is. It's like when your mom steps in to break up a fight at the playground. You know things have gotten serious when management starts tweeting. And then there was the time Kalani Brown hit Clark across the neck on a fast break. The play was called a common foul on the floor against Brown, but was then upgraded to a flagrant one. I mean, I know basketball is a contact sport, but last time I checked, it wasn't mixed martial arts. But here's the kicker. Clark has been pretty quiet about all this. It's like she's playing a game of the floor is lava, but instead of lava, it's controversy. And she's determined not to touch it. Smart move, Caitlin. Smart move. She's out there taking hits like a human piñata. But instead of candy, she's full of talent, determination, and probably a few bruises. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Money. Clark is a money-making machine for the WNBA. She's selling tickets like hotcakes and driving viewership through the roof. It's like she's the Beyoncé of basketball and everyone else is, well, not Beyoncé. Dick Vitale, the guy who gets more excited about basketball than a kid on Christmas morning, said Clark should be welcomed with open arms. But instead, she's being welcomed with open elbows. Here's what he wrote on Facebook. So true, the treatment that Caitlin Clark has been getting is not basketball. Those guilty must be suspended and fined heavily, and that would put a stop to it. So absurd, the petty jealousy. She is a money machine for all involved with the WNBA. Enough already with the absurd antics and comments. Caitlin should be welcomed by all with open arms. Be physical. Play tough within the rules, or the commissioner must get tough in handing out discipline. That's very well said, Vitale. And then there's Charles Barkley, who never met a microphone he didn't like. He said the WNBA players cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried.
They cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit.
Ouch. That's like telling someone their cooking is so bad they could burn water. But here's the thing. Not everyone in the WNBA is out to get Clark. There have been some cool moments too, like when Jackie Young, another Indiana basketball legend, took a moment to make sure Clark was okay after a fall. Clark slipped while driving to the basket and needed a second before getting back on her feet. Seeing this, Young loosened and retied her shoelaces while talking to the Fever rookie. It was a clear moment of appreciation between Young and Clark, who were both seen smiling after the moment of sportsmanship from Young. It's like when your older sibling picks on you, but then defends you when someone else tries to do the same. And Sabrina Ionescu, another former college superstar, had some words of wisdom for Clark. She said, "You always are going to have to fight adversity."
So when I went on my visit there, Sabrina was around the whole time, and you just got to see how genuine of a person she was, on top of being the best basketball player in America.
So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, as tennis legend Martina Navratilova put it, Caitlin is the tide that will raise all boats. The players in the WNBA need to realize that Clark is helping all of them, now and in the long run, Martina wrote on X. It's like when the cool kid moves to your school and suddenly everyone's parents let them stay out later. Clark might be taking some hits, but she's also taking the whole league to new heights. But let's be real for a second. Is Clark really being singled out? Or is this just the WNBA's version of a rookie hazing? You know, like when you start a new job and they make you wear the silly hat for a week, except instead of a hat, it's bruises. And let's not forget, Clark isn't exactly a shrinking violet on the court. She's been known to clap in opponents' faces and has racked up her fair share of technical fouls. It's like she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, but every now and then she flips the board just for fun. But here's the million-dollar question. Is all this drama good for the WNBA? Well, as they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity, unless you're the one getting fouled, I guess. The WNBA has been around since 1997, but it's never seen anything quite like the Caitlin Clark show. It's like when color TV was invented. Suddenly, everything looks different. Some players might be resentful that Clark is getting all this attention. It's like when your sibling gets a new toy, and you're stuck with the hand-me-downs. But as Chris Evert pointed out, embracing Clark could be the best thing for the sport. Evert knows a thing or two about being the new kid on the block. When she burst onto the tennis scene, she faced her fair share of jealousy. But Billie Jean King stood up for her, telling other players to embrace Evert instead of criticizing her. It's like when the cool kid at school decides to be friends with the new kid. Suddenly, everyone wants to sit at their lunch table. So, what's the future hold for Caitlin Clark and the WNBA? Well, if Rebecca Lobo is right, we're looking at 5 to 10 years of Clark being the most popular player in the league. That's like being the most popular person on social media, but with more sweating and less Photoshop. But here's the thing. Clark can't do it alone. As Susan Kahn pointed out, in the end, it can't just be one person. It's like trying to have a party with just one person. Sure, you can do it, but it's a lot more fun with a crowd. So, to all the WNBA players out there, maybe it's time to put down the boxing gloves and pick up the pom-poms, because at the end of the day, a rising tide lifts all boats. And right now, Caitlin Clark is one heck of a tide. Whether you're Team Clark or Team everyone else, one thing's for sure. The WNBA just got a whole lot more interesting. And isn't that what sports are all about? Well, that and trying not to pull a muscle while getting off the couch to grab more snacks during halftime. Now, if you enjoyed this video, why not head over and check out our other videos on how Clark answered her critics such as Jason Whitlock, Cheryl Swoops, and others, with her outstanding performances on the court. And while you're at it, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching.